Greetings, YouTube. When I built this club, I liked the results. I thought it came out fairly nice. It's a very primitive post-apocalyptic aesthetic, which is what I was going for, so I was happy with it. But it isn't all that elegant looking. Of course, that was the design idea at the time. But I decided I wanted to come up with something that was a little nicer looking, a little more finished. And this is a T-ball bat, which I happen to really, really like the balance of this thing. I'm going to have to definitely find another one of these at the yard sale season come warmer weather. Because it just fits one hand so nicely. And I very much want to go for a spiked mace look here. So my goal is to drill a hole in the end and put that in so that the most I can get out of here. Sticking out, I'm probably going to be able to only go there so far, because I'm going to use a pair of vice grips to hold this to screw it in. Because normally this is a dowel screw, so you'd be putting two dowels together, so you'd be using the dowels to drive towards each other, so you wouldn't have to worry about actually holding the screw itself. But I'm going to have to hold the screw and screw it into the wood. So I'm going to grab it with a pair of vice grips in the middle, and then that's going to mean I'm going to be able to have a few of these threads showing, because the vice grips have a width in and of themselves, and the pair of vice grips I have is a standard pair. I don't have a pair of needle nose ones. That would be cool, but I don't have one at the moment, so that's life. And then I want to take these four, and I want to put them here at right angles to each other, just like they are in this here presented for you. Probably here, more or less. Partly that's going to be decided by where my drilling rig will let me put it, because there's a certain amount of... This is the barrel of this only stays parallel to about here, so I may have to monkey with that just a smidge. And I will drill this hole first to make sure I don't interfere with it, so I don't get that in the way, kind of thing. But I'm only going to go about an inch, so I should be safe. If I put it here, I'll be in the clear, I think. And it's going to be two holes at 90 degrees to each other, and I'll drill one, and then I will mark the side in line with it at 90 degrees once I can set the thing in there so I can see the 90-degree difference. Because again, I don't have an indexing lathe or something to play with to achieve that. And then I'm going to drill a small hole down in the end to put in this, so that I can put a lanyard on it, both for potential use and also so I can hang it up in the garage. Because funnily enough, my wife doesn't let me store that in the house. Yeah, crazy, I know. But there's one minor problem with this, and that is if I screw these in as far as I want to, which is as far as I can get, which is going to be, again, you're going to see about 3 of these threads sticking out. These points would be interfering with each other. So I'm going to take my grinder and I'm going to grind about 3 of these off, maybe 2 of them off, so that they are shorter and blunt. And my goal is to get some, the wood glue I had was no good, so I'm going to get some wood glue and use the wood glue as a lubricant while I'm putting the screws in. And of course, once the wood glue cures, it will also become a chemical fastener, which will be also useful. So that's the current project at the moment, turning this T-ball bat into a spiked mace. So I've broken out my drill bits. The drill end is still out on the porch at the moment. And I have drilled the hole in the end, and I have drilled and already put in the eye bolt that will be functioning as a lanyard attachment point. Here we have the dowel screws I'm going to be using, and you can see I have ground 4 of them shorter, and you can see next to the one that I'm not going to have to grind at all. See the difference in length. And here we have the drilling rig that I'm going to be using to drill a right-angled hole, and it's going to go like that and hold it in place, and then drill down through there, turn it 90 degrees, and drill down again. So I'm going to hopefully get that relatively close to being 90 degrees. It's not going to be perfect, but I didn't do a bad job having those radiant the radial spread, and I did that one purely by eye. So I just kind of indexed it with a marker and went doot, 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 and it came out to be a spiral. So that was kind of cool. So that's the next step, is going to be to drill the 2 holes I need in the shaft of the barrel of the baseball bat right there. So I have the first hole drilled, as you can see, because I now have a screwdriver sticking through this bat, and I'm going to use the bat to help me sight up this way, so I can then mark a hole at 90 degrees. And again, I'm probably going to be off by a couple of degrees, and I don't really care. I'm doing this by eye. I don't have anything that would let me do this at exactly 90 degrees apart. If I had a lathe and a drill press and such, this would be a lot easier. But I don't, so got to work with what you have, So I decided to have a go at putting the first screw in without any lubricant, and it goes in. And take my word for it, I do not need a chemical fastener. This is not budging using my vice grips. And again, turning a straight shaft, a circular shaft with these things is not easy. That ain't going anywhere. So now it's going to be to put in the other 4, which hopefully will be a little easier, because then I will be able to be turning these at a perpendicular to the shaft, which will give me more leverage. Well, folks, there we have it. One completed single-handed mace with a decidedly more sophisticated post-apocalyptic vibe, I think. Now, it's not perfect. These are fairly perpendicular to the barrel of the bat. The spike in the end isn't quite perfect, but again, I eyeballed that. The only thing I really wasn't 100% enamored of, that isn't a perfect 90-degree spread, but it's close. And like I said, I did this by eye. If I had better shot, things would have turned out a little better. Someday maybe I will. But one of the things I like about this is that when you hold it in one hand, there's my mess of paracord on the floor, I'm aware of that. When you hold it in one hand, it clears. It doesn't drag, it doesn't hit the ground. It's light, it's fast. This is a much larger, this is a decidedly two-handed weapon to really, unless you're a very large person. I could not wield that one-handed. This, however, is light and responsive, and would be quite useful. So, and we're finished. Now I get to go store it in the garage, because my wife isn't really enamored of these things, though she has commented that, come the apocalypse, we are ready.